Hello and welcome to the Gentleman Scholars Club. Today we're going to take a quick look at the classic menswear pattern known as windowpane. Windowpane being defined by the presence of a grid on fabric, usually tailoring, specifically on suits and sport coats, though we can also see them on ties, as you'll see shortly. There are two general patterns on tailoring that you'll find for windowpanes. One, the vertical lines and the horizontal lines are evenly spaced, giving you an even square pattern. The other, where the vertical dimension is longer, or the distance between horizontal lines is longer, giving you a rectangular pattern. And that's what I have on here today. The vertical dimension of the square is actually longer than the width of each individual grid box. This actually enhances your sense of height in a subtle way because the vertical dimension draws the eye up and down, so it's therefore supposed to do that when you wear it in the form of a jacket or trousers. So the third type of pattern you can find for a windowpane would appear on a necktie, and because tie fabric tends to be cut on the bias, this pattern will be diagonal. So I have here two navy windowpane ties, and they're both similar in the sense that they're both navy blue. They're both intended for autumn and winter wear. However, I think you can tell immediately by looking at the difference in the windowpanes how that can impact style choices. This tie is a wool flannel, a lightweight unlined wool flannel from the bespoke tailor in New York City, J. Muser. This one is a wool and silk blend from the Italian menswear giant Boji Milano. The Muser tie, as you can tell, has a more muted windowpane, and this is the first sort that you can find generally for sale or generally available in tailoring. The lines are quite soft, they're chalky, they're a bit broken in terms of the continuity of the lines, and therefore they present a more subtle windowpane pattern. In this one, the lines are well defined, they're bright, they're solid, essentially unbroken if you look at them from that distance, and therefore quite assertive. In this tie, the lines are also kind of gray, and I call this a chalk line because if you've done any sort of renovation or home repair, you may be familiar with using a chalk line to measure and cut things, right? You take the line, or the piece of string, you stretch it out, you snap the chalk line, and it leaves behind a trace of chalk where you're supposed to cut whatever it is that you're cutting. And that, to me, is what you see here. It's very soft, it's subtle, and it doesn't create a huge impression on the eye. In this case, you have a very assertive pattern, and it's one that is sort of in your face and even aggressive. And I think the difference between the two, interestingly enough, relates to where each was made, right? This is made in the United States. We're not too flamboyant or aggressive with our style in general, especially within a business setting. Whereas in Italy, where this one is made, men are not afraid to be more assertive with their style choices. So how does this impact you? First, determine what your personality is and which one you prefer based on that. If you're more introverted, if you tend to be laid back and conservative, this is probably a safe choice for you. However, if you are assertive, if you're extroverted and outgoing and somewhat showy, then this is the tie that you may want to go for. The second consideration, of course, is where you wear these. And since we're talking ties and suits, we're really discussing the business environment and the workplace. If your workplace is conservative, if it's kind of very business-like, then this will again be a safe choice. However, if your workplace is more relaxed, if it's fun, if it's outgoing, then this could be the choice. I would also select this one, the Boji Milano, the Italian version, over this one if you're just wearing the tie for fun. Comparing the two general types of windowpane this way, it's also useful in considering lines and tailoring as a whole. And I'm thinking specifically now of the striped suit. If you wear a chalk striped suit, it will look sort of like this. The lines will be fairly soft. And if you like stripes but you don't want to appear overly assertive, a chalk stripe suit would be your best choice. The pinstripe suit, on the other hand, has more defined lines. It's clearly delineated, and by delineation we mean the drawing of lines, and so that would be akin to this. Hope that was useful in giving you a sense of how the nature of lines in windowpanes and other types of men's tailoring can really impact the style choices that you make. I hope that was useful. If you found it interesting, please like the video and subscribe to us at the Gentleman Scholars Club for more tips and information on classic menswear. Thanks for watching.